Little crimes we don't worry about in this country, like padding your income tax, cheating on the expense account, and genocide.
Whether he was on stage or off it, George Carlin's mind never really stopped working. These are some of his sharpest, strangest, and most honest moments.
This ear, as you can see, is rounded. It's regular round.
Yeah.
And this one is not. It's sort of like a devil ear. It's kind of pinched. And the doctor said that happened at the moment I was conceived. My mother and father suddenly sat down.
Most people's childhood stories stay grounded in reality. Carlin's never do. Beside the conception story, he somehow ends up with his big uncle.
So my uncle was the father figure, and he was a big guy. And you know how your father or your uncle will throw you up in the air and catch you?
Yeah.
Well, he was big, and one time my uncle threw me up so high that I could see the curvature of the earth.
It's about 60,000 feet,
Yeah,
George. I think you have to go to see the curve of the earth.
I actually believe I caught a glimpse of Sri Lanka. Yeah. I didn't know it at the time. It was called Ceylon.
I
so
see. Well, of course, sure.
But I was never the same.
Yeah.
Most people don't think too hard about birth control or modern parenting. Carlin thought about both, a lot more than he probably should have, and found an angle nobody else was looking for.
Yes. And I just think that when birth control pills come off prescription, that they'll have catchy, cute names, such as the patent medicines have. Names to help you know what the product does. They'll need names like Pregnant. And Embryo. Here's one for the gals. Nary a carry. Nay, family way. Mom bomb. Here's a real man's product. Inconceivable.
The other thing that's interested me lately, I noticed you can now have 5 parents. It's possible to have 5 parents: an egg donor, a sperm donor, a surrogate mother to carry the child, and then 2 adoptive parents to take over the child later. And it really makes a thing like he has his mother's eyes sort of a confusing state.
Dinner was never just dinner for Carlin. Give him a plate of food and a few minutes, and he'd find a way to turn it into something a lot stranger than it had any right to be.
Last year we had a seagull. Have you ever tasted seagull?
No, I haven't had gull.
It's a little tough, but the good thing about it, you don't have to add any salt. David, as long as we are speaking of birds which we kill and then eat, let me ask you something. When you have chicken at lunch, and then for some reason you have chicken again at dinner time, do you ever wonder if the chickens knew each other?
That hasn't really crossed my mind.
These are the kind of things I think of when I'm sitting home alone and the power goes out. Nice place called Bombs Away. Have you ever been in there?
No, Bombs Away. Is it a new place?
Very interesting. Bombs Away. The patrons sit on the ground floor. Kitchen is on the balcony. And when the chef, when they've finished cooking your food, they toss it off. Bombs away!
Oh, is that right?
You know? And you got to catch it on your plate. Real easy with like a T-bone steak. Soup. A mess.
Oh, no, yeah.
Peas. No fun peas.
No, peas are no
nice
good.
Thing, if it lands on the floor, on the house. The food is free if you don't catch it in your plate.
Wow.
Carlin had very strong opinions about sports, spare change, and the weather. None of them needed to be that strong, which is exactly why they're funny.
Yeah, I'm a sports fan. Of course, I only care about the 3 real sports: baseball, basketball, and football. The rest of those things aren't really sports.
Now, wait a minute.
They don't qualify as sports.
Hockey?
Hockey, not a sport. No. Well, no, let me explain it to you. Nothing personal. It's an activity. Actually, it's a combination of 3 things: ice skating, fighting, and the game of hockey. My suggestion is that they should do these things one at a time. Let them meet, play a game of hockey, go to the bar, have a fight, and then go ice skating. You know.
All right, now you're also excluding in here tennis and golf.
Tennis is a form of ping pong. It happens to be ping pong played on the table. Soccer.
Soccer.
Can't use the arms. How could it be a sport?
Yeah.
Any activity where you exclude the arms cannot be a sport.
If somebody approaches you on the street for money, do you give them money or
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people feel uncomfortable about that.
Yeah, I'm like Alan Alda. I think you got to give something back, you know? No, I do. I do that. But I like to have a little bit of fun with it. Not mean fun. Just like to get my moment out of it. I'll give a guy a little something, and I'll say, hey, Don't you go spending this. Put this in the bank. I just picture him going into Citicorp in the morning. You know, like to open a money market checking account. Another one I like to try is I'll give the guy a little something. I'll say, look, don't you go spending this, and I want you to use this for wine. Don't let me catch you buying soup with this now.
I love the Midwest.
Yeah, I like the people are fine, but I would have trouble living somewhere where the primary geographic feature is the horizon.
That's good. That's nice.
It gets, David, let's be honest, it gets cold there.
Well, yeah, it does. It gets chilly.
You've heard of hypothermia and
Yes.
exposure?
Yeah.
Living in an area where you can die simply by opening the window does not appeal to me.
Depends on the time of year.
Yeah, I would never be completely comfortable knowing I might lose my life going out to check the mail. And the South is no answer either. I'd have trouble in the South, I think. Too much respect for authority down there. You know, they're kind of soldier sniffers and cop lovers. I would have trouble with that. But I like visiting the South. You know, when I'm in the mood for a quick trip to the 13th century.
You have to listen to this joke about poets. It's very funny and very deep.
Years ago, I was injured in a runaway Barca lounger. And by the time I got over that, I was traveling through New England and I was beaten up by a carload of poets. And they're vicious because they very rarely get that kind of a feeling out.
Carlin always said he loved people. According to him, it was groups he couldn't stand and disasters he couldn't get enough of. This is him at his most honest and his darkest.
And people are wonderful. People, I love individuals. I hate groups of people. I hate people who have a group of people with a common purpose. Because pretty soon they have little hats, you know, and armbands, and fight songs, and a list of people they're going to visit at 3 a.m. So I dislike and despise groups of people, but I love individuals. Every person you look at, you can see the universe in their eyes if you're really looking. You know, I just like disasters and things. I just do. I'm really fond of big explosions. When they say something explode, when I hear the CNN theme for breaking news, boy, I'm there. And the bigger the explosion, the better I like it. I really don't care. I don't care. I like it when a lot of people die. It's a little sick, I know that, but I do. I like it when a lot of people die. It's fun. I always wish that it happened during rush hour. You know, they always say, gee, if it happened during rush hour, it would have been much worse. I say, yeah. You know, it would have been so nice.
America loves to brag about freedom of choice. Carlin pointed out just how much of that choice is really just flavors of the same thing, and how little of it applies to anything that actually matters.
The interesting thing about this country is if they talk about how we have freedom of choice. You know, we have freedom of choice. Yeah. Very limited. If it's an important thing, limited choice. 2 political parties, essentially, 2. Big media companies, 5, 6.
Max.
Yeah. Oil companies down to 3 now, I think, overall, 3 or 4. Banks, the big brokerage houses, the big accounting firms, all of the things that are important reduced in choice. Newspapers in a city, how many? Used to be 3, 4, now it's 1 or 2 that are owned by the same people, and they also own a radio station and a TV station. But jelly beans, 32 flavors. Ice cream, all the things that don't matter. The unimportant things, a lot of choices. And you know what I say? You know what your freedom of choice is in America? Paper or plastic. That's it, man. It comes down to paper or plastic, cash or charge, aisle or window, smoking or non-smoking, Coke or Pepsi. These are your choices. Everything else is kind of laid out for you.
For once, Carlin isn't joking. This is him being straight with you about the drugs that shaped a decade of his life, and the one habit that ended up shaping his writing process.
Well, I did an awful lot of cocaine during the 70s. When I did that stuff, I did tons of it. Yeah, tons. Yeah, well, you knew that shit. And I just would get out there, and my jaw wouldn't work, you know? You know how locked up?
Yeah, I know crackheads whose jaws don't work.
You get like that, man. And you know what you're thinking is good. Fortunately, they liked me, and they would wait, you know, for my mouth to start working. But I don't have any of those. I'm not one of those guys that has a story. You know, like every comedian, like these old guys, especially you meet, and they say, you mention a name, and they say, oh, let me tell you about Al Jolson, and they got a story for everything. I got no stories because I don't remember a goddamn thing. Man.
Do you still smoke that stuff?
Only occasionally, only to punch up some writing. I don't, you know, it's too debilitating, you know, to get you too weird for me. I mean, I can't do a lot of things I'd like to do. So what I do is
Would you care to delineate those?
No.
No. Okay.
I type up something that I like a lot. It's something I've been working on anyway, and it's been festering. I always use fester as a word my brother and I like to use for anything. It's an all-purpose
Festering,
word.
yeah.
Festering in me. And it finally comes out, and I type a nice thing up without any influence from the outside. And then a day later, one toke. That's all I need now. One toke, and I punch it up. That's when you sit there, and it gets better. It gets better. And then the next day you have to take out half of that stuff, which sucks. But the other half that you found, whoa. Yes, good stuff.
Plenty of comedians joke about language and leave it there. Carlin took his all the way from a single word to a real stand against the U.S. government, and somehow made both equally funny.
Muhammad Ali was the champ at that time. His name was still Cassius Clay. And he was the champion of the world. And they took away his championship because he wouldn't go to Vietnam. He refused to go. And he was, of course, right to do that, I think. Now, what I said about it was this. They told him, you know, no more, sorry, you can't, no more boxing, you know, because you won't go and do your thing in Vietnam. So I said it this way. I said, Muhammad Ali, his job was beating people up. That was his job, beating people up. They wanted him to go overseas and kill people. And he said, no, I don't want to kill people. I'd rather just beat them up. And they said, all right, well, if you won't go and kill people, we're not going to let you beat them up.
You can talk about fucking, you can say, you know, you're gonna, and everybody goes, I know what he's talking about. Or in the newspaper, they can say F ... Well, everybody knows what it means, so the thought has been conveyed, and that's all language is. And you go, I don't say fuck, it's a family newspaper. How do you think the family got started? Fucking. That's what it is.
The military runs on following orders without question. Carlin joined anyway, and spent most of his time finding out exactly how many ways there were to break that rule.
Getting back to the Air Force, I didn't take to authority very well, but I was really bright when it came to this K-Systems mechanics stuff. I had the highest T-score in the history of the maintenance school at the time I got out, and they sent me down there to fix computers. There were analog computers, 3 of them in this plane, and there were 2 radar sets and optics. But I kept getting in trouble. I kept telling people, the equivalent of that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I had a slew of Article 15s. That's the punishment just short of a court-martial.
That's right.
I never did any time. I had a court-martial for failure to obey a lawful order. Another one was insubordination. And another one was falling asleep on guard duty during a unit-simulated combat mission. It was cold. I went up onto the plane to sleep a while.
You were tired, exactly right.
I was tired.
Right.
And I'm the one who joined, so I ought to get to say what I do.
So how did you leave the Air Force?
It was mutual. It was like a divorce. It was like they looked at me one day and they said, you know something, this isn't working at all. You know it, we know it. If you leave now, we'll let you have the clothing.
Getting older isn't something most people look forward to. Carlin had his own way of looking at it. And by the end, his own answer for exactly how he wanted to be remembered.
I'm an old fuck, kind of like a fat fuck, tall fuck, the skinny fuck, short fuck, you know. It's not old man. Old man is kind of like not an age or a period of your life. Old man is a point of view, you know. It's a way of looking at the world. There are some guys who are old men in their 20s and 30s. You've seen them. You know, they just got old manish ways. Sometimes you see a little kid with, you know, glasses and a double-breasted suit, and he's like a little old man, you know. So it's not old man, it's not old fart, which is kind of like, it's old fuck, you know. In this respect, fuck is a synonym for the word fellow.
You know, longevity is a wonderful thing. Sometimes you get applause just for not being dead when you say, it's true. When you say, I'm going to be 60, they applaud that. Wonderful, not dead, 60.
100 years from now, what would you like people to think of when they say the name George Carlin?
I'd like them to be able to say he's 138 years old.
I'll drink to that.